Georgia. No, I'm just kidding. It's Desperado. Why don't you come to your senses? You've been out riding fences for so long now. The Eagles. This was one of the first songs they wrote as a songwriting team, Don Henley and Glen Frey. If you're playing this song with simple cowboy chords, you're missing out on some really, really nice voicings that they use in this song. And this guitar intro is just a really, really pretty way to start this song. The intro was actually lifted from Ray Charles's version of Georgia, and they freely admit that, and it's not an issue of contention with anyone, but it's the intro that they took from Ray Charles's version of Georgia, and they put it in front of this song, and it works really, really well. Download your chart. I'm going to show you how to play that intro. I'm going to show you the chord voicings that make this song really come alive and take you right through it. Let's go. So we start with a G for this intro. Now, we don't really need to worry about this top string, this E string, because the melody that we're playing is starting on the B string. So you start here with your, and I'm thumb strumming this, which I don't normally do, but it seems to work really, really nicely with this song. So you strum your G chord almost all the way through, but you stop at the B string, and that's your first note of the melody, and you go up to the 3rd fret, back off. Then you move to this beautiful chord voicing. On your chart, it's a G13, but what it basically is 3, a muted A string, then 3 on the D string, 2 on the G string, open B, open E, and it's got this really, really lovely sound. That high E string is where your melody note sits now. So you go back to the 3rd fret of the B string, and then open B, then open G. So that little bit starts like this. Then we move to a C, but again, we're just doing the first 2 strings this time of a C major chord. And that note on your D string 2nd fret, which is an E, that note there is your next melody note. You go follow it with an open G, back to the D, 2nd fret. Then you change to a C minor, which is 3rd fret A string, 1st fret D string, 2nd fret G string, and walk back down through that chord by lifting your finger off the G string. So back to the G, same way we did at the start, but now we're going to an E minor, melody note on the high E, back down to the 3rd fret B, same thing, A sus2, strummed through to the B string, that's your melody note there, down to the G string 2nd fret, then lift off the G to the open G string, and then D. And then turn it to a D7. Desperado. So I'm going to play that through the intro one more time. Do that free time. Desperado. We start the verse G, then we go to a G13 again. Why don't you C? But instead of playing a C, play a C add 9 in this song, and it sounds much, much nicer and takes you from that C add 9 to a C minor much more smoothly. Now we're playing the C minor as a bar chord rather than this. You've been out riding fences, E minor, A for so long now. Oh, you're a hard one. This time, instead of the G13, we're doing a G sus9, which is almost the same, but the difference is we're putting this C on to our B string. This 1st fret B string, which is a C, we're putting that note on there. And it's there in the song, so I think it's worth doing that slightly different voicing for the second run through that verse, or the second line in the verse rather. And it's just another really nice chord voicing. And then we go back to the C at 9. These things that are pleasing you. Now this time we go G, B7, E minor, and then turn around going, will hurt you somehow, A, D, G. Then we have 2 beats or a half bar of this D sus2, which is that with an F sharp on the bottom. So you can think of it as a G over F sharp, but technically it's better to call it a D sus2 over F sharp, even though it sounds a little bit more complex, and it gets you down into the chorus, which starts in E minor. Your feet get caught in the wintertime. B minor, C at 9, back to G. Then E minor and C, normal C this time would work okay. Back to G, transition down through that D sus2 over F sharp. But it seems to me some fine things have been laid upon your table. E minor, it's time to A major. D, turn around on D7. Desperado, and you're working through another chord progression the same as the first one, except it starts off on that G sus9 now. Whether you do a G sus9 or a G13, it's up to you. They're very similar chords, but they're both beautiful. I tried to be accurate on the chart with where they sit. Take your pick. Then there are no more surprises in this song. It basically goes from your chorus to your verse to your chorus to your verse until you get to the very last verse. And then the very last verse, what they do is something different, going from the G up to the C. So we go, Desperado, you better come to you. So you just walk up. From the G, you walk your bass up. You can leave those 2 fingers on there, but you leave with that bass note with the A, open A string. What? You better come to your senses. Same way through. Then your G, walk down through the F sharp, A major, D. It may be raining, but there's a rainbow above you. Here's your little kind of coda. You better let somebody love you. G through the F sharp down to E minor. Then it does the same thing starting on the C. Let somebody love you. That little transition chord there, you can call it a C over B, you can call it a whatever you want, but it's walking you down to that A minor. You better let somebody love you. Slowing right down before it's too. Late into the outro, which is the same as the intro, but kind of half the length. From there you end on the G. Beautiful song. Thanks for watching. We'll do some more Eagle songs coming up on the channel soon, but that's a cracker. Hope you enjoy it. See you next time.